Hi guys, welcome back. So sorry for the way I got grounded, but I'm no longer grounded and I'm still alive. So, off of the unimportant things, we left off with therapist Deku, and I still need Chip for that. But you're not able to comment because I got copyrighted. So I won't be able to do Therapist Deku until I get past the copyright claim, so from now on forth I will be doing extreme long list of reasons why I should not get copyrighted, because none of this belongs to me. Background music, not mine. All credit to the original creators. The characters from the story, not mine. Neither is the storyline. I literally just take a storyline with characters that I like, take the center character or maybe a side character, whichever one I feel like, and then I change how they were raised, what their powers are, and see how it would affect the storyline. Then none of these pictures belong to me either, not even this one. This is from my girlfriend. She drew it because she's amazing and watches my channel. So let's just get straight into this. We left off with this is a glassblower Deku. The team of heroes entering the woods. They wander for hours. Finally, they find what looks like a car door, which Hawks tries to open because no one else is going to do that. It's a car door in the middle of the woods that's not attached to a door, to a car, except still has a frame. Why in the world would you open that? But Hawks tries to open it with the handle, but when he pulls on the handle, instead of opening, a bunch of flames come out. Endeavor jumps in past the flames to see it's a blowtorch. He turns it off as the others come in to see it's a hidden gem. Yes, I don't know why I felt like adding this. I just thought it would be really cool. Aizawa writes down the coordinates on his phone, sends the coordinates to All Might. But doing this, his phone battery dies, and Aizawa was the only one smart enough to bring a phone, so they're lost. Because they were relying on Hawks to lead them, but with his injured, because he used his wings to block the flames from hurting him, his wings are now completely burned, so they're lost. In the woods. They wander the woods for hours, trying to find the way out. When finally they see a 2-story cabin with a closed sign on what looks like a garage door with glass waterfalls on each side. Endeavor. So this must be the glassblower shack. They go up to the garage door and knock to hear a clatter of material and someone scream, "Closed. Come back from 12 to 5, any day of the week." Midnight calmly responds, "We are sorry for interrupting, but we were attacked and got lost and can't find our way out the forest since some of us are severely injured." Hearing that they are injured, Deku opens the door to reveal a nice furnished living room with a table with a marble pyramid set up in the center with nice glass cups. And instead of a normal wall on the other side of the living room, there is a glass wall showing into a glassblower's area, what you would see in a normal glassblower shack. A green-haired boy, no older than 20, was standing behind the glass wall with a gadget in the furnace, lifting his mask. And here's a question for people in the comments if the comments get reopened, because we got copyrighted, and when you get copyrighted, you're no longer able to read the comments, and I don't think you guys are even able to post comments, so yeah. But do they use a normal old welding mask for that, or is it a special type of mask? Anywho, the person shuts the furnace and shouts, "Don't let the bugs in," and you came the wrong way. Grandma Yaga's is to 20 southwest from here. Endeavor, getting a little bit mad at this, said, "We are lost and don't have a compass," in a very sarcastic tone. "And why would we go to this Yaga person's place?" The green-haired boy takes the rod out and drops in a bin full of other rods, causing a glass shattering sound. Opened the door in the glass wall and sat on a bench facing them, and calmly responded, "Grandma Yaga is the medic. You said you were injured, and if your goal is to leave the forest, follow the path or follow the river." Midnight just like, what? We have not seen either of those. We've only seen a few miles of ground, I think. We've been traveling for a couple of hours now, but it all looks the same, so we're probably going in circles. Deku grunts, says, "If you were going in circles, you will have ran into the trail, because the trail goes out from at least 5 directions from my house. So if you were going in circles and still ran into my house, you would find the trail." "But please, sit down, have a glass. I'm sure I could call Grandma Yaga over here, and she could take care of y'all. That way you don't have to walk any longer." So they sit down in this living room. Deku goes upstairs, calls Grandma Yaga. He comes back down, fills their glasses with water, and says, "Well, how can I help you while you're waiting?" They say, "Do you know of a..." They say, "Well, we're pro heroes and we are looking for villains that have been spotted around here and a child that supposedly lives here." Deku thinks for a bit, says, "Well, I'm the youngest person that lives in the woods, so the child is most likely me. And for villains, can't say I've seen much. But if you were attacked, then that means you've already found the villain, so there's no problem there. They say, let's clarify. We weren't exactly straight up attacked. We found a door in the woods, and when we opened it, fire came out and burned us, and Deku just rubs the back of his neck like, well, shit. I just got myself in a lot of trouble. Says, that's not a villain thing. That's my private place. I set that up to help train my body since I have to have a strong body to wield the hammers and stuff for the metal when I turn the glass into metal. They say turn the glass into metal, and he says, yes, my quirk allows me to turn anything I want into metal. So along with doing glass blowing, I also do metal bending since it's quite nice to do glass welding, but welding gives it more strength so you can make more materials, so I get a bigger variety of customers. Talking about that, I need to finish this suit I am working on for one of my customers. They are supposed to come here today, which is why I'm sort of in a hurry and why it says closed. So how about this? You guys tell me about yourselves, your past lives, what you do. Well, I work on getting this metal work cleaned up and finished. Seeing to how little he cares about the fact they're pro heroes, they don't really think he takes a side, so they're a little wary, but Aizawa opens up and says, well, I'm Shoto Aizawa. I actually have no clue how old Shoto Aizawa is, so insert whatever age you want. I am however old I am because I have no clue how old he is. I was raised by my mom and dad. I am colorblind. My quirk allows me to erase others' quirks. I am an underground pro hero and teach at UA. I currently teach class 1A. Deku curtly nods, says, so you have anxiety from not being... You have anxiety for, how do I put this into words that would not be offensive? You're afraid because you don't think people would accept you since your quirk is not flashy and you have yet another disadvantage with your quirk being limited to how long you can hold open your eyes, and you are also colorblind, meaning it would be harder for you to spot clues, which makes you think you have a disadvantage and would not be accepted by society. Aizawa just straight up stares at him like, what the fuck? And Deku just says, well, I don't know how much help this can be, but you're obviously not that disadvantaged because you literally have an upper hand on any of your opponents since most people only use their quirks to fight nowadays. And you have yet another advantage with being able to control that scarf so well. You give yourself basically second limbs or the ability to extend your limbs. And your eyesight, how would that affect you in any way? I mean, seriously, I know a blind man who can take down a whole entire U.S. Navy, so don't think the eyesight's much of an issue. But hey, we're kind of off your other friends here. So who's the redhead with the flames that's about to burn down my freaking shack? And Endeavor just, what the frick did this kid just call me? Then, but he sees the other pro heroes looks and just says, I am Endeavor, father of, give me a sec here, I need to do math. 4 kids, one of which died in an accident, and I'm married to Ray Todoroki, who is currently in a mental hospital due to burning one of our sons. I am a pro hero. No, he wouldn't say that. He would say, I am the number 1 pro hero, because it's Endeavor we're talking about. He's literally egotistic in every way. Then Deku just curtly nods and says, you're unhappy about not being the number 1 because All Might is still considered number 1, even though you have currently taken over the position. So you take it out on your family, which drove your wife insane, so she burned one of your children that reminded her of you. Endeavor's just silent. And then Aizawa sees that his flames are raging and immediately uses his quirk and ties Aizawa's mouth shut with his thing and says, Kid, I know you do not mean harm, but seriously, you're wrong in a lot of ways, and you have no right to say such things. Deku gives a curt nod, says, sorry for my misbehavior, I guess. Then, who's the the purple-haired chick with the glasses? Midnight says, I'm Midnight. Actually, we are not given much info on Midnight's backstory from where I am in the manga, so how am I just now realizing this? We know that she went to school with Aizawa, Mike, and I'm forgetting the blue-haired boy's name. We know she's not married. We know that she is into porn and that stuff. So, I guess I don't really know, but she explains her past. Oh, it says, Deku says, seems quite pleasant. Would definitely have some downsides, like how you're obsessed with what others think of your appearance, so you do your best to please them. Luckily, that's been getting better throughout the ages. And no, Aizawa sort of smirks / laughs at that. Then, who is the white-haired lady with the bunny ears? Name's Mirko. I have no clue what her last name is. And I also don't know her backstory. That's sad. I'll be looking this up after I finish recording this. Anywho, she goes on to explain her past. Deku says, You should go to a back therapist due to your cork. You'd have a lot of back and joint pains in your back. I think I said that correctly. Please don't roast me in the comments over that, if you're able to comment. Anywho, Deku then says, okay, who's the red hair with the blonde hair with red wings? Hawks says, I was raised by a neglected family, taking after pro heroes because they were bright and showed care to all, when some couldn't even show care to their own children. So, I started to learn how to fight. Using my quirk, I became the third pro hero and am currently have my own agency. He'd probably go into more detail about his agency, considering the fact that it's Hawks. But honestly, we're not giving too much information about Hawks' agency, so I'm not going to put in much because we don't have much. Deku nods and says, neglected family to an extreme is what I would take from that, but if you ever need to talk about it when you're not publicly required around people that publicly require you to show a smile and lie, you are free to talk to me. Anywho, right then the doorbell rings. So, Deku opens the door and lets in a man who is carrying a wooden box on wheels. Comes in. Says, Mr. Ferris, it's always a pleasure to see you. May I ask where Mrs. Ferris is? Mr. Ferris says she's unavailable taking care of the kids right now, but she is happy and thankful for your help with the armor. Here's your payment, hands him an envelope that apparently has money in it. Then also hands him a plate. Deku immediately asks, what's this? And he responds with a happy smile and says, we wanted to thank you for always helping us get our antique armor. So, here's an extra thanks. It's homemade cookies. Deku smiles, puts it down on the table, and eats one. Says, it's amazing. Please give Mrs. Ferris my gratitude for the amazing food. He nods, and then Deku goes to the back where he was just working on the glass, and he comes out with a glass. It looks like a statue, but it's not. It's the armor that you would see in Victorian time period. And he touches it, it turns to metal, and he hands it over. Then the dude puts in his box and leaves. Then the doorbell rings again. Grandma Yaga walks in. I already showed you what Grandma Yaga looks like, right? I think I did. Just in case I didn't. It's like that, except her hair is now white. And then Deku shows her to the living room. She heals up Hawks. Then Deku says, "They're lost. Do you mind showing them down the mountain while I work on making a vase that was ordered from one of my customers?" She says, "No problem." Then Deku says, "Oh, wait, before you go." He drops a little bag into each of their hands. Now, the bag looks somewhat like... Give me a sec here.